My name is Kendall, and I'm coming in for just a few short minutes to share with you on the topic of empathy. I love talking about empathy. I'm a firm believer in practicing empathy in every relationship across the board, whether it's with your kids, your boss, your coworkers, your spouse, just strangers in life. I love empathy. And so I want to come in for just a few minutes today and share with you what even is empathy and to make it kind of relatable to you. So I want to start with a story about one time that I did not get to experience empathy, and it was sad. It was very sad. So this was from a few years ago. I'm sure I have a more recent example, but this has stuck with me for years. I have a friend who is so empathetic. Anytime I am excited or the opposite, I'm sad, I'm going through something, she gets it. She's right there. She seems like she is just as excited as me, or she's just as sad as me. And it's so fun getting to do life with this friend because she is so good at understanding your feelings. And so we were in college and I was going through a hard time. I honestly don't even remember what it was about. I think it was probably something to do with a boyfriend at the time. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I came home and she was there, and I was so excited she was home because I wanted to tell her what had happened. And it was just, I remember it was hard. I don't remember what it was. That's beyond the point. So don't let me get distracted. So I find her and I tell her, listen to what happened tonight. And I tell her this whole long story. And I can remember how we were sitting. And the whole time, she was on her phone. So she came in, she was like, it's so good to see you. And she hugged me and everything. And then she was like, how was it? And I was like, it's actually bad. And then I was wanting to tell her about it. And I was like, I want to tell you about it. She's like, I want to hear everything about it, which is true. We were super close friends. But she's on her phone like this. So she's texting, and I am like pouring my heart out to her. And she'll look up and she'll nod and she'll be back down. And I remember feeling so disconnected from her in that moment. Excuse me. I usually felt extremely connected to her. She was one of the first people I went to process with. And in this moment, I felt so disconnected. I felt like she did not care. Even though I knew she did, I did not feel like she cared at all. And it crushed me. It hurt my feelings so much. And I went to bed crying that night because it was already a hard night. And then having her be such the opposite of what she normally was even harder. And it hurt. And I had to remind myself she is just human. She was wrapped up in some other conversation on her phone, whatever it was, and she's just human, and it's okay. It's really okay. And so that is a perfect example of sharing a moment with someone that you love and you trust, but empathy is not reciprocated. And what happens is the other person shuts down. We are human, whether you're male, you're female, no matter what you believe, we were wired for connection. Being human, we were not made to live isolated. We weren't made to have hard nights and the hard nights stay within us. We were made to have a hard night, go home, and process it with someone we trust, and the feelings be reciprocated, the understanding be reciprocated. And that did not happen for me that night, and it crushed me. It hurt our friendship. We're fine. We're super close friends to this day. But it crushed me in that moment. And so the power of empathy is a real thing. And so I want to share with you, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to share the feelings of someone else. Empathy is not a card you send someone. So, in the aisle, it's like a sympathy card, and you send a sympathy card to someone who's going through something hard. There's not empathy cards in an aisle, because sending a card to someone is not empathetic. What is empathetic is making a meal and going over and just sitting with this person and just sharing the same space. And it's okay if you have never experienced what that person has experienced. If someone is experiencing the loss of a dad and you've never experienced the loss of a dad or the loss of a loved one, you don't know what the loss feels like, but you do know what deep sadness feels like. It doesn't matter what you were sad over, you have felt sad before. And it's the ability to share that moment with that person. You don't have to have the right things to say. In those moments, it's better to say nothing. Just the power of presence. Empathy can be the power of presence. The empathy is the power of body language. So that night with my friend, this was her body language. Oh, that was really hard. Um, Body language that is sitting like this and it's hanging on to every word. Tell me more. That had to have been so hard. I don't know how you experienced that. Body language that is present and is open, that is empathy. Empathy is not having the right words to say. It's not saying you are sorry. It is not saying, I've been there before. It's so hard. It doesn't. It's saying, I cannot imagine how you feel. I just want to be with you. I want you to know that somebody else is here with you. So super short. I want you to walk away with that. Remember that the power of empathy comes from connection, and connection comes from body language, not always words. So, words are powerful, but body language and the power of presence really is the carrier of empathy. So, I encourage you to practice empathy wherever you are, whoever you are. Practice empathy with your kids, practice it with your friends, spouses, siblings, whatever it may be. Empathy is an extremely powerful tool, and all of us as humans, from a kid to a grandma and grandpa, we all crave empathy because we all crave connection. So I hope that sticks with you and you're able to remember it. And yeah, go be empathetic. Bye.